Good morning, Lafayette. I'm your meteorologist, Brian Burden, here with your forecast today, and we'll talk some ins and outs of your holiday weekend. A little bit of heat coming on store for us also, but we got to get through some chilly days. This time of the year is when we start to make all the changes, and the biggest change today is going to be school's out for summer. Don't. Craig, that's why I don't sing right there. You see that? That's pretty bad, right? He's been trying to get me to sing on my own music, and I'm staying away from it because I can't sing. All right, guys. So hopefully your Friday morning has been pretty quiet, not hectic, getting the kids off to school if that's what you're doing, or just getting up this morning. Sometimes it's hard for some of us to get up in the mornings. I happen to be one of those people there on that front for sure. I got reasons for that, of course, but the point being is it's starting to warm up. It's starting to get that feel. If you haven't had it for the last month or so, I think you're going to be starting to get it as this next week comes in store for us, and we push into the month of June by the end of next week. This Memorial Day is very early. It just seems kind of off, doesn't it? Seems like we should have another week before we get to it, but here we are. Memorial Day weekend, big race on Sunday, another holiday. You'll be cooking them hot dogs on Monday, and I think you're going to like some of this forecast and you're going to dislike some of this forecast. Just depends on who you are and where you are. So let's get into it. Let's go to the big chart showing us our live weather right now. Live, it's 55 degrees here at 9:02 on Friday. May 22nd. Is it May 22nd already? Man, woo. Winds out of the east-northeast at 9 miles an hour. So you can see not a good direction for warmth for us at all. So a chilly day in store again today. High temperature only up around maybe 63 to 65. I think we might scratch our way to 65 or so when we get it near the low and as it just before the rain starts, basically. Yes, I said rain this afternoon. There'll be some light rain in the area. May not be real heavy at all. Matter of fact, it barely shows a trace in a lot of spots. And then after midnight or around midnight, we get maybe a fifth. Let's see, 0.05 to a tenth. There you go. So you're talking very small amounts of rain in our local area, but it will be a nuisance rain tonight. So that kind of rain, though, I think most of your baseball games will still get in. Just depends on the crew that runs the field and if you happen to wander into one of those heavier showers or not this evening. But we're going to take a look at all the charts here just briefly, shortly. We will be doing it, and it's, like I said, 55 degrees currently. Not bad. All right, so let's take a look at what the radar looks like and the satellite shot right now. And did I mention it's Free for All Friday? Which means free for all, right? You can do whatever you want. You can call me. You can ask me any kind of question you want. We're going to do it all today. So, and I've had some weird ones on Free for All Fridays. Yes, definitely. All right, so here's Lafayette. We're in the open. Look at that at the moment. We have high clouds to our north, a lot of high clouds to our south. We're not in the low cloud bracket right now. We're not seeing a lot of that, but there is a lot down towards the south. Remember that band of showers and thunderstorms we were looking at in the Gulf of America yesterday? Well, now look where they are. They're heading right up towards Nashville. Looks like they're heading in there this morning into the afternoon hours. If Bill's getting on sometime today, he's down near Nashville. Make sure he's got his umbrella with him, because I know how he is. He's very prim and proper when he gets out and about in his rain, and he doesn't want to get wet. So I know he's laughing right now. He's laughing. All right, so here's where most of everything is, with Lafayette being right about here. You've got a low here. The low is coming to the north, and there's been some changes since yesterday. If you remember, yesterday it was going to go towards Cincinnati a little bit more. Today it's coming more towards Indianapolis, and that's going to bring our chances up. Yesterday we were really only talking just a light, brief shower, maybe possible. Today it's going to be more extensive in the length of the period. It's going to rain down to Indianapolis if you're happen to head to the race for some warm-ups in their practice for today. Some of that may get rained out at times this afternoon. and then you're going to have some problems on Saturday with some rain there, and then we'll see on Sunday whether we get it in clean or not. But I see a batch of rain on the long-range prog that was not there yesterday, so we'll have to see what happens as we get to Sunday. We'll check out all the charts as we're moving here. All right, so here's your satellite chart. Let's change it over to visual so you can see what's going on there. There's your visual shot. You see you can see how chaotic it can be, right? When you're looking at satellite charts, you look at this one; it's not clear as day. You don't see a front and clear skies behind the front. You see a mixture of all kinds of clouds at different levels. You're seeing an abundance of high and mid-level clouds south of Lafayette being right about here, right? I do see some low clouds. Look at this. You can actually see low clouds going the opposite direction underneath. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see that. You see thunderstorms out towards the west, out to the northwest of Oklahoma City, right? And then you can see the mountains in Denver and Colorado and how nice it is there. And you can even see the snow on tops of the mountains out there. So you can see a lot, but sometimes it's so jumbled it's hard to tell where a system is, a thunderstorm is, some showers, some rain, what's going on in the low levels when there's clouds above on the high levels. All right, so I'm going to pop the radar on here first, take a look at it. See the rain now approaching Cincinnati, pretty heavy down there along the Ohio River, and just crossing into Indiana also, and then into Nashville, that area there. You can see Nashville here. Good line of thunderstorms just out to the west over near Memphis, coming through right there. For us, we're talking showery activity here. We're not talking thunderstorms. By the time this all gets up to us, we're talking rain, not thunderstorm activity. Okay, but Indiana and Illinois are pretty much high and dry except right down by the river, right? And then there's some scattered rains up into Michigan, it looks like, at least at this point. So let's get in closer. Let's go back to the visual real quick and then come into the localized sector right into Indiana, all right? So here we are. Lafayette is right here, and you can distinctly see the difference. You can see the high clouds moving over from the southwest to the northeast. You see that? Keep your eye on that pretty easily, right? Then you see the low clouds in the lower levels, and they're going the opposite direction. You can see them through the cracks right in there, right? So you can see that too. Pretty hard to pick up with your eyes sometimes, but let's put some color to it and see if that helps out any. All right, so we start picking it up. Yeah, you can see the lower clouds a little easier here moving through here, right there. Now, at the beginning, it's dark, right? And it starts to pick up some sunshine, and we start to pick up more. But that's where it is at this point, all right? And then if we flop the radar on there, what do we see? We see rain coming towards Cincinnati and coming up. Has not entered Indiana yet, so we're really not quite in the mix. But we'll keep an eye on that because I imagine it's going to be up, another 30 to 50 miles in the next hour. So it just depends on the speed, and we haven't sat here and calculated that yet, at least as of right now. There, go back to that visual shot right there, that one. I do like the day cloud phase where you can see some of the stuff at night, and then you can see plenty during the day. And I just picked that up with my eye a little better. I'm colorblind, but for some reason I can pick that low cloud up pretty easy there. And you go back to this other mode right here, and I still see it, but it's blending in a lot more, right? So that little extra color showing there on that day cloud phase satellite shot where it's showing the visual, but it gives it a little bit of color, that helps out. And you can see a lot of the low clouds over in Illinois pretty easily too. So that's where we're at least for clouds and where the rain is currently. Now let's get into this model, and there's a lot going on here. But a lot that was not quite organized yesterday, but is a bit more organized today. We've got a system out to our west in Nebraska. All right, this system, and we're going to see the Lafayette bubble again today too. That is going to be coming on store for us for sure. I think we're gonna show it in a couple different places today. All right, so let me get my little brush on here. So we've got a low here. I think it's kind of going there if I remember from yesterday, and then we have a low here, but it was going towards Cincinnati. But today I think the model's got it coming more towards Indianapolis, which brings the rain closer to us and brings us into a chance of rain a little better. Let's see how it moves off. So here we are. 14Z is 10 o'clock. This is what the model, the 06Z run, was showing us. I think you can see the numbers over there, 06Z. So that would have been 2 o'clock in the morning they put this out. And the 12Z run is going right now, and we'll get a look at that a full look at that in about a half hour or so, right? 45 minutes. So, and we'll go back to it for sure. Okay, so here's what we've got. We can see this. The low is starting to move towards us, and getting more organized. Yesterday there weren't quite as many isobars around it, so it's getting a little more organized. We bring the first showers into Lafayette sometime this afternoon around 5 or 6 o'clock. Okay, so it's 22Z, so it is a while before we get into any of the rain, right? There it is right there. At 4 o'clock, it's just south of us. Crawfordsville looks like they're getting rain, and then Lafayette starts to pick up something. And then we watch the system wash its way up into Lafayette, right? And then it comes up and brings us scattered showers and a light rain off and on all night. And then it clears out as we go through the day tomorrow, especially in the morning. So, matter of fact, if you look at this and you look at Lafayette, the track of the low stops the rain somewhere around that would be 7 in the morning, right? And then it keeps us out of the rain. Look at that. And we're right in the slot, the dry slot, and we're pretty good most of the day tomorrow. Then some scattered little showers start popping up. And this mass right down here in Missouri is the one I'm interested for Sunday to see what's going to happen with that. But what do we see? Again, here there's not a lot of isobars around this, right? There's just one, and then there's one little low here, and how strong will that low really be, right? That kind of thing. Then here's your main low taking all the energy in the area, but there's only the 1-2 isobars. There's, this just disorganized movement in this, and anything getting in line to be a decent-sized storm at all. So that's going into Sunday. So this is like 2 o'clock Sunday morning when you look at this. So let's go in close, though. Let's get in closer on this and see where we can pinpoint the rain and everything a little bit easier for you to see. So Lafayette's right here. We saw the big picture. We saw the system coming towards us, right? And that's about where it is right now, right down here, right along the river. We've seen that. Here's the progression. By 10 o'clock or so, it's starting to get into Indiana a little bit more. By, about, this is 17Z, which is 1, 2 o'clock. It's approaching Lafayette. Here it is. Still not raining in Crawfordsville at 2 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, there you go. 4 o'clock, it's getting on the doorstep. Who's got ball games tonight, if there's any left? Because I know there's baseball still left over this season. Might even be some track going, that kind of thing. And then it moves north and right there. So somewhere between 4 and 5 is the first chance of a light shower in the local area by this chart. I would go a little bit earlier than that, right? But you can see anywhere in this area right here. And that goes back to the low that's over here, right? And the low that's here that's coming through, and it's trying to anyway push itself up. Starts raining this afternoon, late this afternoon into this evening, 4 to 5 o'clock. 6, it looks like it's really right on top of Lafayette. The line there cuts right through the city, so you can see how haphazard and scattered it might be. And it does the same thing for an hour or two, and then it kind of just barely touch. And every time there's even green over Lafayette, there's plenty of white around it, right? So this is not your mama's system where she's yelling and screaming at you because you forgot to close the door, right? Nope, this is just a weak, very weak little system. It's your little brother yelling at you and you're laughing at him, and then you get a little bit of light rain at him, and then at the last second he throws a Nerf ball at you and hits you and gets you with a little bit of rain right at the end. That's how it goes. So, and then we see the rain kind of pass through. Overnight it's very, very light, and that's 10Z, which is 6 o'clock in the morning. And then by 7, it clears out, and we get in the dry slot between where it's rotating around the low and where it's rotating up the low, what would be a cold front or a trough kicking off of the low. And so that proximity to us, instead of down here in Cincinnati, right, is a big difference. Big difference in the amount of rain, big difference in timing of rain, too. Where yesterday it barely got here, today it looks like it wants to get us pretty decent. Then we go through the day, all day tomorrow looks pretty good. So if you're going down if they're trying to get in any practice the last day, tomorrow looks like they're going to be high and dry most of the day. And then you get just some of those heat of the day showers popping up possibly tomorrow. The models, the SPC, is not showing, that's the Storm Prediction Center, is not showing any thunderstorm activity in our area today, tomorrow, or on Monday. So we're looking pretty good there. So these are just showers popping up, instability showers. You see one little low, and again, it's very unorganized, and we see it here. And there it is by 4, 5, 6. There it is at 2 in the morning. It wants to bring in a little line of showers right here, I think, by 2 in the morning, because it seems to be moving that direction, right? We go back a couple, boom, boom, boom. That's the direction it's moving. So at 2 in the morning, it's wanting to bring in a little shower. This is tomorrow night. Tomorrow night going into Sunday with the race being down here. What time's the race start? 11 or 1? I'm not sure which time it starts. It's 11 or 1 o'clock. I think it's 1 o'clock. And so we'll see what happens with that on the next run. We'll go all the way to that time frame. Temperature-wise, what are we looking at here now? Okay, so now we're talking temperatures and what's the effects going to be. Well, it's going to be chilly for a few days still. We saw that, right? Here we are this morning. We're just in the low to mid-50s. What's the actual temperature? 55. So there it goes. Oh, it updated to 56. Okay, 56 currently. Only going to get maybe into the mid-60s. Let's see what it tries to. See, there you go, 66, 67. There's a pocket of 69, but the clouds are coming from the south, right? Yet we still have this east wind. We still have this east wind because the low is down here now, and the flow around the low is counterclockwise. So you're seeing wind out in front of it going this way, which is actually circling around the low, which is farther down here, right? That's the way you got to look at it. So it does get us up to like 66, 67 right there. I see this afternoon. And the 74, 75 is not far away. Rensselaer looks like you're going to have a bit more open skies back towards Kankakee, Chicago, even back towards central Illinois. They're in the mid-70s or low 70s. That's at least close to normal. But for us, it shows the clouds thickening and us not really getting enough sun to do anything with it. Plus, then it starts to rain, right? We see the rain starting to affect everything. And overnight, though, it doesn't get very cold at all. It stays in the right around 60 to 62, it looks like there. And then tomorrow morning, as the low is passing and leaving, we're actually going to warm up. See this little pocket starting to form right here? All right, that's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. The 80s are trying to get towards us. One more hour, we usually peak around 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock this time of the year. And you can see the nose coming out like this and a good chunk of 80s right there. Will it get to Lafayette? That'll be close. That may be the only day that we actually get to our average high tomorrow would be 77. All right, so, and it shows a 78 in there, right there, a little late, right late in the period. So that would be what? That's 11 o'clock, 7 o'clock tomorrow night shows maybe the potential to be right at 78. So that's a nice night to go out and grill tomorrow night, it looks like, right there. A little nice warm pocket of weather. Get out, drive around, do a little drive around the neighborhood, see what the rest of Tippecanoe County's doing, and try to see your neighbors and see what happens. And then it's still pretty warm Sunday morning, too, with the lows. Now, this is only 2 o'clock in the morning, but your lows are only going to drop off probably barely into the 50s, I would think, with the cloud cover potential coming in. We're watching a low down here. What's it going to do? That kind of thing. So let's go back to the precipitation here. I'm going to go winter precipitation. Actually, I'm just going to go to precipitation total. Look at this. Look at this, all you're going to get. 1/10 of an inch of rain from all of this through Saturday, right? So there's not much with this. Yet you can go down to Indianapolis and they're going to get close to an inch. And then look at that. There's a big thick band right here just across the Ohio River heading southwest to north east pretty easily. As you see that, and there's a big, there's the bubble, right? Where's the bubble? The bubble is over Lafayette. Look at that. Somehow the big rain misses us, yet we rain just like everybody else. So just to give you that idea, all right? So, and really the rain itself, the best chance for rain. So we're at a trace. Here we are at midnight tonight. We've only had officially what the model thinks anyway, is about a trace of amount of precip up through midnight tonight, and 1/10 of an inch Crawfordsville. So that means most of the ball games, if there's still any left, are going to be okay tonight. Most of them. I don't think most of them will be stopped by that. And then by morning, it rains a little bit more, and we get to about a tenth. Right, so a little bit heavier overnight. And those are your rain totals through Saturday morning at 2 o'clock. Okay, so there you go. You've got that now. Now let's go back to the precipitation type, and let's change maps now. Let's change models. See if I'm able. I think I need to get out of the brush mode, and then I can do that. All right, so there's the NAM. You don't remember yesterday it said help. I don't know what that was. Let's go to the NAM nest and see where it pinpoints stuff. Now look at it's different. It's different. It's got a different look to it. Let's go back and see where the rain is, and now the low here is a little bit closer to Cincinnati and not as close to Indianapolis, where the one where we saw the HER came almost over Indianapolis overnight. All right, let's see what happens here with this. When's the first chance that the NAM nest thinks we're going to get rain? All right, so here we are this afternoon. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, and we're kind of close to the dry spot. Maybe right there, 7 o'clock tonight, right? 7 o'clock or so, 8, and it just kind of falls apart. Look at that, very light, not much for rain at all. Kind of brushes us here or there. Oh, there's a little shot at 2, 3 in the morning, maybe a little band of rain. And then some very light rain around us, and the low goes by. We get into the dry spot, and we look pretty good. And it's just got scattered light little, When I see this kind of thing right here, I think to myself that this is a drizzly kind of look and feel. And this is down to the south of Lafayette for tomorrow, all right, going into Sunday. Now, this goes farther out, and you see the little band of precipitation starting to pop up. So here we are at 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Is it going to fall apart or stay together? Right now, it kind of falls apart. Here we are at 2 in the afternoon, still dry at the runway, okay? Still dry at the runway, but a shower potentially at 2 o'clock on Sunday for us, all right? So we'll see what happens. Indy's right about there, and we'll see if they stay high and dry or not. But right now, that looks like they're okay for the race. Won't be the greatest, temperature-wise. It's not going to be great. What's the temperature about that time frame? Because this is time 72 is not bad, huh? I think we'll all take 72, right? For the race time. 74 in Lafayette at that moment. 75 in Crawfordsville. So that's Tuesday afternoon. Excuse me, Sunday afternoon race day. Oh man. You guys all try to talk for an hour and see if you can do it without getting some kind of frog in your throat at some point or another. All right, so there. So now let's tack the NAM on here, and let's go back to precip real quick. There we go. Now, you notice it's more of a broader model, and it shows more rain, doesn't it? It shows more rain. So look at this, rain coming Sunday. Reaching out at 2 o'clock, maybe getting to the airfield, the racetrack by then. But generally speaking, it's still kind of back here. The scattered stuff out in front you can't count on, right? But then look at that. Wow. That's at 2 o'clock, and then by 5 o'clock it's over everything. And it's a pretty good band of thunderstorms. And it's over Lafayette, and it's over, where's Indianapolis at? Right about here. Okay, so Indianapolis is right there, so they're going to be getting into it by what the NAM says. This is the regular NAM that goes every 3 hours, and then it goes through pretty quickly. It's not good if it starts at 1. Now, if it starts at 11, we're great, but I think they're starting at 1 o'clock, so they'll get the race in because I think we're talking 2.5 hours, right? 3:30. So here we are at 2 o'clock, and by 5 o'clock, it says the rain's on them. So there's a jump of 3 hours there, so we're not sure. Looks like it's punching somebody. Boom. All right, so we'll have to see what happens with that. Maybe we can get a hint because of the temperatures. Let's take a look at it. Surface temperature. All right. We see the hint of the rain coming in. There it is in the morning. There it is at 1 o'clock, right? 2 o'clock, excuse me. 70 degrees in Lafayette, and it shows there's a patch. That's that rain that we saw on the first picture. And we don't get a ton of help here because it just kind of keeps the temperatures the same. You can see it getting colder to the north. And then what do we see for Monday morning and your beautiful Memorial Day weekend? It's 56, 57, 58, 63. We're only seeing a high of around 70 on Monday. That's about it. One more. Maybe we can can we get another in a little bit? Nope. That's as far as it goes for that. Goes out to about 70, 72 degrees. So that's near perfect temperature, I guess, if you like that. That's definitely a good one right there for us on that front. Let's see if we can find some cloud cover in this. I think we got some here. Average cloud cover. There we go. All right. So let's go back to some poignant points in our history here of what we're looking for. And there's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, I see some open skies in places, right? It's broken, so there's some sun coming through in different places. That's at 2 o'clock. The race is already an hour into it. And then by 5 o'clock, it's totally overcast with this system coming through. All right. So there it goes, and then it stays that way. But how about Monday? Monday's cloud covered, and then it starts to decrease. Boom. By the afternoon, we get into almost total sunshine here in Lafayette. Right about there, 1% cloud coverage. So we look pretty good by that time frame for Monday and your holiday weenies. Now, they might be redoing the race on Monday. It depends on whether they think this rain's going to be enough or not. But we're close enough now. We're inside about the 48. We're just outside the 48-hour period. And we'll see what the HER comes up with. Let's go back to the HER real quick. Now the HER, this is a 060. Let's see how far the 12Z is. It's only 58% out, so it's not going to give us a big tell, but it's going to indicate what's happening with what's going on right now, all right? So let's go to, here we are on Friday. Let's watch our rain come up from the south. Boom, 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 boom. There we are at 8 o'clock. It's saying no rain till 8. But this looks thicker to me than it was looking before, does it not? You see heavier rain showers in this coming through for tonight, but not starting till around 8. And then 9, 10, 11, 12, you got your midnight hour. There's the low. The low looks just a hair to the east of where it was on the last one. And it's going to split Indianapolis and go out down the south side of Indy. We get out of the rain by about... There's 4 o'clock in the morning, okay, tomorrow morning. The rain's kind of around us. We're in that slot. It's still showing us kind of in the dry slot behind the low. And then we maybe get a shower still left over by 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and then it clears out. Boom, boom, boom. And so the rest of your Saturday looks pretty good. Just isolated shower here or there, sprinkles, nothing to bother anything. But the HER's only out till that point. It's only 58% out. It'll go out and it'll show us what it thinks that rain to the west is going to look like here. In about 20 minutes, we'll have the whole thing in, and we'll be able to see about 20 more hours, which should get us just to the race, right? Should cover us up right there in time. But let's go back and look at the European model. What's the European model looking like? Well, it's a different type of precip that it shows there. Shows it in this form. I need to go out a little bit because it's harder to see when you zoom in. All right, so let's see what we've got here. What does it think's happening? So it's showing the rain coming up. Shows us getting rain by about 8 o'clock tonight. There you go. So, and then it kind of keeps a little batch on us. The low is going the same place, either somewhere on the south side of Indianapolis. The low is going through there. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Lafayette's right there, just starting to clear Lafayette for the rain. Leaves a couple scattered sprinkles and stuff through the morning hours. Clears out really nice for the day. Here we are at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We're in between the two little systems, and we're going to have to see what happens with this second one. Does it keep coming? Wow, that's a big difference. It dried it way out on the European model. And then pops up a shower 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Comes through. There it is at 11. That would be, yeah, that's 11, right? And then by 2 o'clock, there it is. And now the raceway's right here. It keeps it off the raceway, kind of brings it just near us more than anything else. And we're right about here, and the race is down here. So you can see the rain potential for us on Sunday morning, right? 11, and then it's kind of by us by the afternoon. but it shows a development of showers and thunderstorms, and then it kind of engulfs the raceway by somewhere around 4 o'clock. Okay, 4 to 5. So it's going to be a tough call right now, definitely for sure. And then there's no rain. Where's the rain at on this thing? No rain. Okay, next, I don't even think that's a chance of rain right there. That's Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday. Here we go. Oh, something's coming. Nope, it's held off. Look at Lafayette's. Remember, Lafayette's right here. We have stayed out of all this rain next week. But man, look at this rain that's all in this sheath right through here to our southwest. And then we're going to be seeing nothing, no rain. Wow, this is the European model, which is usually very negative for rainfall and showing big storms all the time, that kind of thing. Wow, there's a high that kind of takes control. And then out through next Thursday, June 4th, here we come Thursday. There's a chance maybe. There we go. Thursday, we got some rain around us into Friday next week. So next week looks dry at this point. What will that mean? Well, that'll probably heat us up, I would think. No rain. We should be pretty warm. What's the GFS say? Well, in this mode, it looks like that. Let's change it to this mode. There we go, everybody. And we can see the rain for today. All right, now, so what does it say for Sunday? Doesn't look like much, but it shows something coming towards them. There they are at 11. Here they are at 2. Now, by 2, the GFS has rain over the entire state practically, so that's not looking good right now. The HER will be more closer, and so will the NAM than the GFS right now, but that doesn't mean that this isn't incorrect. And then what does it show for our long range? It dries us out. Your Monday looks beautylicious. There's maybe a scattered shower there, but pretty much that's all south of us. And we look good, high and dry. Oh, a little slight. There's that slight chance on Tuesday. And then it's doing the same thing. It sets up. All the rain is south of us. No rain on the pane. Nothing. Some rain south and west of us. Nothing on us. Let's see if we can find a movement. It looks like it's coming towards us, but it falls apart. There's a high up here, I guess, and banging into it, drying it out. And then the flow is around the high at this point, and we're all the way out through Sunday. No rain, no rain. Remember yesterday I was talking about we were going to need some rain. You got to get these crops, need to get something. Maybe we'll get a little more tonight than it looks like. And you keep going through the model, and the model's got a big high in control of us all the way out through June 5th. Man, June 6th, finally some organized rain late on June 5th. There you go, 18Z, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There you go, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, the rain comes through. Probably will cool us off a little bit. We get a little bit of rain there on that Saturday and Sunday. Wow, man, that's a week, 2.5 weeks. To get to some rain of anything decent. And if I go back here before that rain started, let's go like right there. Let's go to total precip. And it shows 1/10, just over a tenth of an inch for Lafayette through that entire 2-week period. This goes out all the way to Friday, 2 weeks from now, and only shows us with basically the rain coming in tonight. And look at this whole area. This is an area, especially right here from Iowa to Indiana, that needs rain this time of the year because most of the crops are now in. Okay, so it's given a chance to get in some crops that may have not gotten in already, but most everybody's put everything in the ground. So at least in the Indiana area around Lafayette, most everybody has. But look at some of the totals to the south. You're talking 5 inches, 6 inches of rain down here to the south. You can find pockets in there that are 6 pretty easy. Here you go. Look at there's 6.03 there. Northern Alabama out to the southeast of Memphis. So there's some rain there, but not a lot of rain up here to the north, all right? So we look pretty high and dry for about 2 weeks. Then how much do we add on that last one? We add a whole half an inch, a little more than a half inch, right? Maybe 3/4 of an inch on that last system way out on next Saturday, Sunday, June 7th, 2 weeks from now. So that's a downer because we can use the rain, but could we change? We'll probably see some changes. Let's see what the temperature looks like during that whole period, right? All right, so here we are early on. I think we like to go in closer, don't we, on this? Because we can see our numbers better. 63 there. We don't see the systems as well when we get in close, but we can see the numbers a little better. So there it is, 72 for tomorrow, right? And then that was Sunday. Sunday. For race day, 72 in Lafayette, and downstate, you're looking at like 69 to 70 right around the race, depending on that rain, right? It's all going to be dependent on that rain. Don't like the way those models look because they both of them said the same thing. What kind of rain was coming across the state on Sunday. But we'll see the HER. The HER should have a pretty good handle on it. And then here we go. Monday. Yes, you're cooking your weenies and your dogs out there, and we're closing in on 80. 78. 80s aren't very far away up here to the north of us. And then I think it's going to turn hot. Let's see what happens Tuesday. Tuesday's that last chance of a little bit of a rain coming up, and we still get into the 82 range. Now, highs for May 26th should be right around 79 or 80. So we're not far away here at all for our high temperatures. And actually, it's one of the first days we get to the high. The high for today should be 77. And we're not going to get anywhere near that, right? Then it's warm again. We're low 80s right here on Wednesday next week. Just 6-7 days away now. Thursday, 81, right? And then Friday's the cool day at 75 next week. So some cloud cover. But look at our winds out of the east on that day, and we're still 75, 78. We got winds out of the east, so we've got the high is north of us at this point. That's why we're getting that easterly wind. And are we getting a big east wind through that whole period? We sure are, and we're still popping into the low 80s, which tells me lots of sunshine, right? And the southerly wind gives up on Tuesday on us. There it is, easterly. We're getting a lot of easterly winds here for a long period there. So let's see, Thursday, May 28th. We're only getting up to about 80 that day, 81. That was Thursday. All right, we went past that. What was it? Friday. There we go, 75 on Friday. We rebound on Saturday next week to about 78. Not bad. Again, barely below normal or right at it. Then we're at normal again on Sunday, 82. We actually pop above it a little bit next Sunday. And as we head towards June and into June, it's actually a little chilly there. Let's see what we saw on the Monday. Monday's 77, but what is it? Tuesday, the 2nd of June. Only it's the 74 that day, and we should be on the 2nd of June. We should be at 80, right? So a little chillier there, but at least some warmth in the period for next week, right? Some warmth is in the picture. And then you got some more 80s as you get into the following week, Thursday, June the 5th. Everything's in the 80s there, low 80s. We don't see any big hot heat waves in there, but we do see average temperatures at least by the time we get into June. At the very least at this point is what we're seeing on that front of those. What about, let's see if I can get some cloud cover on this. Is it surface cloud? I'm in a different model. A lot of models to think about on here. Where's the average cloud cover on this one? Freezing rain, total snow depth, precip. Average cloud cover, there we go. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these days too, and I think I'm going to go out of sector. There we go. So we can see the cloud cover over Indiana. That OVC right there is overcast for Lafayette. This is Monday afternoon. So it's trying to clear out. Remember that Monday afternoon it said we might get into some sun on the HER. We'll have to see how it goes. Few to broken clouds into the evening. And then Tuesday it's cloudy, but we're still warming up pretty good. I see a lot of clouds here still left over. A lot of high clouds, right? I think is more than anything. It doesn't show us a lot of sunshine until Thursday. Then we pop some sunshine on Thursday this coming week. And it looks pretty good Thursday, Friday. Saturday next weekend looks really good. A lot of not much for clouds at all going out all the way to next Monday. So next weekend looks nice and sunny and warm. Temperatures, look at it. There's no clouds anywhere around Lafayette at all. Now I'm way out to Thursday, June 4th, right? Thursday, June 4th, and there are no clouds. It's been no clouds for days, right? So some of those temperatures might be low on that, only getting to 81 or something like that, although it's an east wind, so that might have something to do with it. And then we finally pick up some cloud cover towards the end there, so there we go on that. Let's get into the HER. Let's go back to it now. Let's see what the 12Z's up to. How far is it? It's at 81%. Let's see what it gives us. Bam. Let's get out of there. Winter precip type. Let's see what it says when we get closer to the race. And let's go in real close so we can see Lafayette right about here. Indianapolis, I believe, is that little square right there. All right, so let's see what happens. Boom, boom, boom. The rain comes up. Okay, so now we're on Saturday. We've seen Saturday. We're looking for Sunday race day now. All right, because we haven't gone out that far on this model. We start to clear out Saturday pretty good, right? Looks pretty good. I don't think it's going to quite make it all the way there. And so far it's only gotten out to 3Z on Sunday, which is like 11 o'clock Saturday night. So, but it is showing this little band of showers out to the west already starting to pop up on there. We'll see if we can get some more of that. How many hours is that on the run? That's 39 hours. It's only going to give us another 11, so it's only going to get us to about noon. But that'll give us a good indication if something's there on that. All right, so let's take a look at some of the area around here. What's going on up near Rensselaer? If you look at the roadway up there, you can see when you see the bridge, it looks pretty good, but you can see the clouds off in the distance. You're seeing a mixture of clouds too. Traffic along the construction area looks pretty good there today. It's a little thicker than it has been, it seems like. But it's Friday. People are starting to get out and away. This is a beautiful shot right here. This I like. You can see the road really easy. You can see what you're looking for. But look, I get to see a lot of clouds, right? And I can see a mixture of sun, some clouds, and this telltale, just like yesterday. It's higher up in the atmosphere, right? It's elongated. It's more of an altocumulus, even altostratus kind of look in places. I think you're talking clouds above 6,000 feet, right? In this area here. Yet you have some lower clouds off on the distance, but it just may be thicker here that are up higher, so they're hard to tell on the picture. But still, I can see a lot of different layers here. This is a great camera. They finally have it pointed at a good spot. Maybe they were listening to my show. Maybe they were one of the two. Oh, here's Bill. He's in Sellersburg, Indiana, down south, motorcycle rally today, and raining now. Yep. Yeah, Bill, you guys are right down there, right where it is, right? And it's coming up through you guys all day today, it looks like, down there, I think. I'll get back to that here in a second. Matter of fact, let's look at it real quick for him. He's down south, southern portion into Anna, and you can see the rain coming up across the state line already. Let's go one sector south of that so we can look at it where he's at. I don't know exactly where Sellers is, but you can see the rain already across. And then you can see where it is. Whoops, I'm looking at the wrong spot. Let me get my states right. No, I got that right. There's Louisville right there. And then there's a lot of rain coming in down there along from Louisville to Evansville. Just crossed the river, Bill. Doesn't look good. Looks like he's in that area all day today and tomorrow for a rally of some type. Let's take a look at some rain for him real quick on there. Do we go down that far south? I think this shot does. So we can see what's going to happen. So here we are now, Bill, unfortunately. Let's see, 16, 15, 14. You can see the rain coming from the south. There's a low coming up from the south just off the chart. It does dry up a little bit this afternoon down in southern Indiana. There you go, 20Z. So that's 4 o'clock. By 5 o'clock, there's a couple hour gap there. Then there's some really heavy stuff comes across the state line tonight around 7 o'clock. So 6 to 7 o'clock, you got some pretty heavy stuff in there coming through. And then it rains through the night down south. I'm just looking at the whole of southern Indiana because I don't know exactly where Sellers is. North of Louisville, yeah. So not good. Lots of rain, but you said tomorrow. He's going to be there tomorrow. Now, the low's going to be far enough north and away from them tomorrow, right? So here we are at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Indy's here. Louisville's right around here. I can still see some rain there. Let's change shots again. Let's go back out. And you can see that it's right there. Now, that looks like that's going to pass through pretty quick. Yeah, so there we are at 9 o'clock. Most of the southern state of Indiana is okay with some just scattered showers. Now, the rest of the day looks good. So tomorrow, you're looking much better, Bill, in that area. Looking much, much better tomorrow. There are a couple scattered light showers, but nothing like what's coming here this afternoon and this evening for you. So no night riding tonight, because here it comes by 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. It really hits pretty hard along Louisville area there and just north of the Ohio River. And then there you go. And I think it goes across, and he's going to be sleeping through this. He does get up early. Bill's an early riser, so he likes getting up early and doing stuff. And then he's got the rally tomorrow too, probably, right? And then we see the rain coming in from the west. That little dinky thing there that I'm kind of worried about, but I'm not kind of worried about for the race. We'll have to see what happens with this and develops with this. And they'll pinpoint it by tomorrow whether they can get that race in or not tomorrow. But we're only 40 hours out on this, so the rest of the day. But Saturday looks good. Just widely scattered showers all over the state. Leftover just chunks of stuff. A drizzly little look here or there. That's what it is more than anything else on Saturday for the bike rally for Bill. All right, so speaking of that then, let's look way down there. All right. Going down. There's Sellersburg right there. Let's see what a camera looks like down there. This is fun. I like this. All right. Oh, yeah, it's coming down, isn't it? Woo, doggy. Look at that. All right, Bill. That doesn't look good. That's the Sellersburg exit right there. All right. And then just south of there, I think it's still a Sellersburg exit, but they got a couple cameras up there. Yeah, good rain coming down there right now. So I don't see you under an underpass anywhere. It's probably at the rally already, I'll imagine, right? Yep. So there you are. There's the shots. They don't look good right now of that. Outstanding areas around there to ride, right? Yeah, he's not going to do any night riding because the deer come out and play, he says there. So there you go. You got that on that happening there. So good to see Bill's out. Good to see he's out riding, right, for one. Right, so my riding days have changed, but they're still in open air. That's what I've got. So, and then as you head farther to the north, let's see how it looks. Let's get a little bit farther north up here. Let's go like up to Underwood. Do we got a map up there, or we got cameras up there? Let's see. Bam. There you go. Okay, there's the rest stop. It's raining up there already too. All right, so and the rest stop shows that. Let's go farther north. Let's get the camera to go out a little bit. And it's already raining there. How about Seymour? Seymour is one of the spots that a lot of us stop when we're heading south, right? We're the first 2 hours into our trip, and we're like, let's stop at Seymour and grab something. Dry right now, but you can see the clouds on the horizon out there. So they have some rain on their pane coming towards them. And then as you get up to Indianapolis, there's just tons of cameras everywhere. Where's that real nice one? There's a good nice one in Terre Haute that I like to use. All right, we gotta go all the way up to here's Covington. Is there anything in Covington? Looks quiet. Stupidly still pointing at the bridge after all me complaining about it. All right, here's the Fowler count for today, and it is 0 again. 0 cars on the Fowler Interstate out there. The Fowler Interstate, which is what road is that? Is that 41? It is 41. So 41, you can take 41 all the way from basically Chicago to Evansville, right? Yep, there it goes, 41. It turns into 150, but it's still 41. See, it gets back down there. It takes you all the way to Evansville if you want, right? And a lot of it's 4-lane highway, but there's just not a lot of traffic on it. So, all right, let's get back up to Lafayette. Let's see what's up on the west side of town. Still looks kind of darkish over there, so the clouds are getting a little thicker anyway. We can see that, at least on ours. How about out the Dayton shot out there at the exit? Look at that. Nice look at the color of the clouds and the texture of the clouds on the underneath. So a lot of this low stuff is going from east to west on this picture, right? Because this thing is facing south, east to west. And then a lot of the higher stuff up above that you can't see as well is going west to east, or we'll call it southwest to northeast. All right, so that's where you got that. All right, so we're looking pretty good on this front here. Oh no, I lost my picture. There we go. All right, so cameras. Now let's see if we got an update. I'm going to go out of this real quick, see if there's a new update on the. Okay, the moniker for the airport here in Lafayette is KLAF. If you're ever wondering, I typed that in there. It's still the same one. This still does not really show any rain for us until about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, right? And it still only just shows a trace. And it rains through about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and then it stops. And then it shows maybe a chance of some rain on Sunday at, it would be Saturday night at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So this is not showing much rain. This would be the 06Z run that we looked at earlier, all right? So we'll have to see when the new run fully comes in what this is saying. No thunderstorms, shows our ceilings and different potentials for precipitation in here. You can find wind gusts on here. The temperature is pretty much hour by hour, so you're going to see that very easily. Cloud cover, I like it, tells you eighths. We use eighths in the sky. Eighths is coverage, is full coverage. Obviously, that's overcast. And then it'll also give you some heights. Right now it says basically the ceiling's going to be above 5 to 10,000 feet, undefined. But then it starts popping ceilings down below about 5 to 6,000 pretty easily. And it shows some ceilings tomorrow in the morning into the afternoon at 3,300, dropping to 2,600 feet. Now this is important for airplanes. And then a ceiling down to 1,500 feet overnight tomorrow night. Into the next morning where it's like 800 feet for a while. Early and overnight we get maybe some fog and our visibility drops to like 7. It goes all the way down to a half of a mile at 6 in the morning on Saturday morning with a 800-foot ceiling. So you're not going to do a lot of flying in that. Jets, they got more equipment. They can do that a little easier. But you know how we've got the Pipers in the school at Purdue out there at the airport, and they're always flying the planes around at the School of Aviation out there. They won't be doing any flying early morning on Saturday, but the ceilings do come back up to like 1,500 feet by 10 o'clock in the morning, and then they're a little bit better, right? So looking a little bit better the rest of the day. Then they're either 2,000 feet or above or not at all. Everything's 6,000 feet and above. So a rebound tomorrow, and we see that in southern Indiana where Bill's at too. So what else we got going? It's Friday. My voice is going. I think I'm going to get you guys out of here. Let's take a look at that radar. Here it is down south again. In southern Indiana, there it is right across Louisville. Seymour's getting pounded right now. They're getting a lot of rain up there. But for us, not so much. Let's take a look at everywhere. There we go. You can see the rain coming up, though, and it will eventually get here. We're starting to see a few scattered light showers popping up out in front of it. Lafayette's still way up here. Rain's coming much later in the day. The model is now 93% done, and it's starting to go towards Saturday. And look where this little batch of rain is heading. It's heading right to Indianapolis and Lafayette. Even though we're not going to get much rain out of it, it could create some kind of problem for them. Indianapolis is right about here, and then you'll see that they'll come up to them. That's 10Z, so that's 6 in the morning Sunday morning, and they have approaching rain. Okay, so we'll have to see it. But look at, again, not very organized at all, yet it's moving up and through them and in the wrong spot. This is very light precipitation, though, so that's the good news. No real thunderstorms in there, although there's a couple little thicker patches of rain in there on Sunday. Very early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and we'll see where it's headed. We got 2 more hours. It's not really going to help us much. It's going to keep pushing it to the northeast, right? So that's what we're going to see on that front. Your Monday looks real good for hot dogs, weenies, that kind of thing, cooking out on the grill. Sunday will be in and out, depending on where you're at in the state. With Lafayette, let's see if we go to the NAM Nest here. And then in Lafayette shows, bingo, that the rain, see the NAM Nest is a lot more negative on it, like there's not much there to it. It brings a little shower north of us by 2 o'clock, but leaves the Indianapolis high and dry looking great down here to the south. So we'll have to see how that sets up on that. And if it continues, the NAM is a lot more negative on it. So here it is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you see a pretty good band of rain out to the west and south of Lafayette right there, which shows a couple scattered showers. And then, of course, the race is right there on Sunday, and it kind of shows rain over the race. Boy, that doesn't look good if it continues like that, the trend, because then you got rain. That's 8 o'clock, still raining at 8 o'clock, and right in Indianapolis, of course, right? It's in Indianapolis, and a little bit of coverage of Lafayette goes through, and that might mean they would push it off to Monday, but we'll have to see what happens. Timing, I don't know what their rules are, what they decide, what they're going to do and what they're not going to do for the race. They'll make a decision tonight. We'll have probably 2 more sets of charts in, and it'll be past the time. It'll be inside 48 hours, and they'll have a really good feel for what's going to happen with it. The NAM nest, and then the HER will be inside that time frame. So here's those last couple hours on the HER. Shows the rain pushing up. Lafayette right about here. This is 8 o'clock Sunday morning as you're heading out to church. Shower or 2 possibly coming in. And then downstate Indianapolis is just waiting for it to come in here. I don't see a lot. There's open areas down here, so making me a little more confident that they might get missed. But I'll bet when we turn the sector selection on, it looks a lot more negative, doesn't it? Makes you think, oh no, what's going to happen? So Indianapolis is right about there. It's that little square right there. All right, and it just shows a shower or 2 coming towards it, but it's got a band of showers to the south that may try to press through. So if this goes 8, 9, 10, it's over them and keeps going 11, 12, and there's not much behind it, they're not going to have too many problems, but we'll have to see come Sunday morning. And the officials there have a protocol, I'm sure, of what they do. They probably have their own meteorologist on staff. He's showing them the same charts I'm showing them. They may be different format looking at them, but they're the same models, the exact same information. And he'll be talking to them about what they can and can't do for Sunday at this point. I feel pretty solid that the HER has got it, and it may pass itself through by the afternoon, and they may just delay the race a little bit, possibly. We'll have to see. Again, I don't know if they push off and wait till as late as 5 or 6 o'clock or not. And do they have lights down at Indy? I think they do they not? So they can get it in. So we'll have to see on that as we get closer and closer. Now it says it's 100% done. I wonder if Chris's model has updated yet. Let's see. Will it give me an update? Nope, came back the same at this point. All right, so that's it for now. Current temperature, 58 degrees. Winds out of the east-northeast at 9 miles an hour. We are unrestricted, but there will be some rain later today. We're getting a high somewhere up around 70. Disregard this 64. We're going to get up near 70 by this afternoon. And then 66 tomorrow, probably close again, trying to climb itself up near 70. A little warmer on Sunday. Look at this, 80s by the time you get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Believe those numbers there. We looked at all the charts. They look warm for next week. Average high for this time of the year should be about 78 degrees by the time it gets real warm next week. So it's not too far above normal, but I think we're all ready for maybe a little hot period. But we need a little bit more rain, and it doesn't show a lot of rain at all over the next couple of weeks. It shows a little bit here at the beginning, and then very quiet for almost 10 days, and then a little bit more rain at the end. That's it for this weekend. You guys have a great day. Let me zoom out here so you can see my ugly mug, and I will tell you to have a blessed week. I am preaching this weekend. If you want to come out and see me, Innovation Church on the south side of Lafayette. We will be doing church at 9 and 11. I think you will enjoy the music, and the pastor is this ugly mug right here. But I will be passing on some information about heroes, and of course, being Memorial Day weekend, make sure you think about some of the loved ones that were lost. Remember, Memorial Day is about the loss of our veterans, right? And where Veterans Day is about all veterans, but this is about those who died in action and we lost, whether it was in combat or whether it was during training or whatever it was that we're losing. And those are the ones we memorialize on Memorial Day. So you have a great weekend, and I will see you. I might be on Monday morning. We'll see. Tuesday for sure, though. 9 a.m. See you guys.